And I would put Post-it notes on my computer screen reminding me of things not to say. For example, how's it going? Or see you later. I mean, just stuff that you say all the time that when you say it to somebody who's going to be dead in 30 minutes, you think, oh my God, I cannot believe that I just asked this guy, how's it going? And I would put Post-it notes on my computer screen reminding me of things not to say. For example, how's it going? Okay? Or see you later. I mean, just stuff that you say all the time that when you say it to somebody who's going to be dead in 30 minutes, you think, oh my God, I cannot believe that I just asked this guy, how's it going? And so the very first time that I called somebody, I just stepped all over myself, and you can't fix it. You know, I mean, you really can't fix it. And so for the next few conversations, I would write things not to say on a Post-it note, and I would stare at my computer screen while I was talking to my client just to make sure that I didn't say any of those completely boneheaded things. And I'll tell you something remarkable. Maybe the second or the third guy who I called to tell him he was going to be dead in 30 minutes. You know what he said to me? He said, thank you. Thank you. Who says thank you to a lawyer who's calling to say, I'm sorry to tell you we just lost. The Supreme Court just turned us down. You'll be dead in a few minutes. And I didn't know how to respond. And I thought, this is strange. What kind of automatic speaking pattern was this guy locked into that he said thank you as opposed to it's been nice knowing you or something like that. Then the next person I called said thank you. And the next person that I called said thank you. And eventually so many people said thank you that I thought to myself, I really need to spend a little bit of time thinking about why these people are saying thank you to me, because I'm telling them that I've just lost. I think that the answer to that is that these are, as I say, almost without exception, these are people that nobody has ever done anything for before. Parents didn't care about them, their teachers didn't care about them, their previous lawyers didn't care about them. There wasn't any human being that cared about them. There wasn't any social institution that cared about them. And then my team and I, we cared about them and we tried to save their lives. And so it occurred to me that what they're saying thank you for is not because we succeeded. They're saying thank you because they have not previously had the experience of somebody trying so hard to accomplish something good on their behalf. I've noticed from really my very first days representing these guys that they are more introspective and thoughtful and remorseful than I would have thought, and not because they're scared. As a matter of fact, a lot of them aren't scared. A lot of them, they're not scared to die because the alternative is living in a horrible environment and you don't have any human contact at all. In the old days, death row inmates had human contact. They had cellmates and they had work privileges, and so they had group exercise. But everything is gone now. They spend all of their time alone. They don't have group anything. From the time that they arrive on death row until the time they get executed, the only human beings who touch them are prison officials. Guards who have their hands on them when they move them from point A to point B, guards who tie them down to the gurney when they get executed, guards who extract them from their cells. If they don't get to hug their kids or their spouses, they don't get to put their arms around their buddies on death row and tell them a nasty joke or something like that. No, it's just it's a completely inhuman, and I mean that just in a literal sense. Human beings touch each other. It signals intimacy. It's a form of communication, and for these guys, they are completely deprived of that. I had a client who was executed, oh my gosh, it was a long time ago, 15 or 20 years ago, and most of his family actually died while he was in prison, but his wife didn't, and they stayed together, and she would come down to Texas once every 2 or 3 months to visit him. When he was finally executed, she wanted to have a funeral service at the little tiny church chapel in Huntsville, Texas. And I said, why? There's not going to be anybody there. And she said, because he's been on death row 13 years. In those 13 years, I haven't been able to touch him, and I want to touch him before I bury him. And so she wanted to have this service with an open casket so that she could reach into the casket and hug her husband and touch him one last time before she put him in the ground. And I was just so moved by that.